I just want to keep going with the music, Nancy.
Me too. I just absolutely love it. I can't thank Steve enough for putting that in there. Oh my gosh, it's so
Good
cool.
morning.
Good morning. So, oh my gosh, we made it within 9 seconds.
We've got it. We've got it. We've got it. I'm
Yes,
telling you guys the things that go on behind the cameras. That's all I'm going to say.
it is quite hilarious. It really is. Oh
Well,
my gosh.
we laugh so we
Oh,
do not cry. That is all I'm going to say. This morning, Miss Bonnie Six says she's
good
here.
morning.
Best things to do in the heat is so. Okay, there's a second one. I'm like, where are we at, Bonnie? She says, in
Yeah,
the heat is so. My room is comfortable. Amen,
there you
Bonnie.
go.
It is too hot out there for sure. Good morning to
Good
Glenda.
morning, Glenda.
She says, good morning to everyone as well. Pam is back with us this morning, aka PJ. She says, good morning
Hey,
from
Pam.
very hot. I don't even know how to pronounce it.
Ohio.
Oh,
Is
it's
that
just an extra
Ohio?
G. We're gonna go
Ohio.
Ohio.
The state next to me.
I think Pam is just trying to put me off my. Oh, I'm already hanging on by a thread, but I think she's trying to throw me off.
It is. It is. It was over 90 yesterday, and that's for Michigan. We generally only have like a maybe 3 weeks of extreme heat,
Right.
which is 90 and above. And we've had a lot this year, and so yeah, I'm just
She's
staying in the
just,
house.
yeah. We are over 100 almost every day. Good morning, Miss Karen. Good
Good
morning,
morning. Good
Mary.
morning. Woo!
Scott Flanagan says, good
Hey,
morning, friend.
Scott. He's finally home. He and I were chatting a couple times over this past week, and he's finally home.
I know
So
he's
that's
probably
good.
happy. He travels a lot, spreading the good
Yes, he
news,
does.
right?
And my camera is crooked, and I can see that it's crooked.
That's all right. We know you're
So
going to change it in a minute. It's all
yes,
good.
I am. So
Pam says it's
um,
Monday, dot, dot, dot. You're right.
oh,
It is
it
Monday for
sure
sure.
is. Good morning, Gloria. Western New York. So is that Buffalo or a little like Rochester?
I'm glad you know geography because New York, I got that. But when you start doing the whole Northwest, East, West, yeah, I have no clue. But she says it's her first time here, Nancy.
Oh, well, good morning. I'm gonna walk around it because my camera's slowly going downhill.
You're slowly
So
drifting. You make an adjustment.
yeah,
You
you
make an
guys talk.
adjustment. Good morning, Miss Megan. Glad you're here this morning. We got Gloria says near Niagara Falls, Nancy.
There you go. Yep.
Good morning, Miss Reelin. And Scott Flanagan has given us a weather update for him. He says 95 here in Fremont, Nebraska, with a
Woo!
heat index of 110. Yeah, I feel you all day,
Oh,
every day. Mama J is here. She says, howdy, friends, aka Andrea. Glenda, 98% humidity in Northwest
yeah, my hair tells me that.
So the moral of this story is Bonnie Six started this conversation, and she is right. It is better to be in the sew room than outside in that heat, for
Yes.
sure. Good morning, Miss Lynn. So for those of you that have been sewing along with us, thank you for returning back each week. It is absolutely amazing. Those that are brand new with us, we hope you enjoy the ride. If you obviously are new today, you have missed some of the other block videos, but you can catch them on Nancy McNally Quilt YouTube channel or SewEndipitous YouTube channel. You can find them on our Facebook channels, but Facebook does delete videos after 30 days, but they will forever live on both of our YouTube channels. So you can
Yeah.
pop back and watch those videos and get caught up, obviously. And then back to those that have been sewing along with us. If you have any questions, even on the past blocks, definitely put them in the comments and I'll make sure Nancy sees them throughout her demonstration today so she can get those answered for you, because as you guys know, Miss Nancy McNally is the designer of this lovely quilt.
Thank you.
And yeah, super excited, super excited. So always remember, guys, throw those comments in. And then also I want to point out, so Nancy, I hadn't had a chance to talk to you this week. You and I have been going crazy, so we haven't got to have our tea time. But one of the viewers, yeah, good morning. One of the viewers was asking why they could see the comments when they pop up on the big screen, like Scott is saying right now, he's staying in the studio. But when they go to the afterplay, they can't see but maybe one or two comments. And guys, the answer to that question is because we are streaming live to 4 or more platforms right now.
Yeah.
So the comments are coming in from 4+ directions. So when you're live, you're getting everybody's comments because we're controlling, that not we, but our system is popping those up so everybody can see those comments. But if you were to go over on, let's say, Nancy McNally's YouTube, her comments are going to look different than if you went over on SewEndipitous Facebook, because it depends where the person is commenting. It's only during the live that you guys are getting to see everyone's comments. So if you're watching on playback, don't think we're making up questions because you don't see it in the comments. It just means the question did come from somewhere else, or a comment did come from somewhere else. So, yeah. So with that being said, Nancy, before we get started, Mama J Andre says, I'm still sick, so I've not been able to sit and sew yet, but I will. Aww. Well, I'm glad you're here recovering with us.
Yeah. Thank you for, watching with us and joining in.
Absolutely.
You can maybe take notes.
Yeah. Or throw us comments so we have someone to talk to other than each other. Nancy, what's that beautiful block you got sitting beside you? Hold that up.
Oh my goodness. It is our Christmas tree block. Yay! Isn't that the coolest?
Yeah.
How it forms circle, it's in circle, or the Christmas tree is circled. Ooh, yes.
Now I don't have my
no, we will not do those yet. We're gonna do those at the end.
Well, as you can see, not done.
Because that's the way the pattern's written. We make the tree blocks, and then we are going to add, excuse me, the green and blue, the light green and the light blue stitch and flip corners. There's a reason behind that.
There is a reason behind that. And speaking of stitch and flip, remember, guys, I told you if I could get my camera set up today, I was going to demonstrate the folded corner clipper for you guys today. I have my camera set up, but the lighting is so poor. Nancy and I both agreed it would be more frustrating than good. So when Nancy's flipping her camera, I'm just going to give a real quick blip about it. I won't be able to demonstrate it from the bird's eye view, unfortunately, just because the lighting in this place is bad. And that was with like 2 spotlights. There's so much shadowing going on. I've got to figure out a way to get that corrected, but I still will show you that. Karen said that block is really pretty.
Thank you.
Look at Scott giving me a woo. And Gloria, which is her first time here with us, she says really pretty. So Nancy, anything you want to tell anybody before you flip your camera?
What we're going to work on today is we're going to work on the Christmas tree. So when I get the camera over here and on the surface of my table, you'll see that I have all the other pieces and parts that surround the tree already together. So I'll put that here. Of course, actually, you won't be able to see it till I do this. So all the little squares and rectangles that surround the tree, those are pretty much self-explanatory. There's nothing difficult about that. It's pulling the tree together that you want to really, we really need to focus on, and then adding our stitch and flip corners. And that's all about organization. So that's what we really want to focus on today. All right.
Organization. She's saying this to a bunch of quilters.
I know. And my thing is, for organization, if you don't have any of like the little alphabeties, I don't know if you can see them because I'm so far away from the camera right now.
Yeah.
But if you don't have these to help you organize, by all means, use Post-it notes, tear pieces of paper. But it really helps when we go to do the stitch and flip corners on the Christmas tree block to organize where these blocks are going. Because if you don't do it right and you don't figure out until after you've cut the fabric for the stitch and flip, you're not going to be happy. You're just not going to be happy. So
Absolutely.
that's why we have to do that.
So Mama J says she has
have.
a quick question. She says, I have a block swap coming up. Can I use one of your blocks for that?
So explain a block swap to me.
I think what she's meaning is her and a group of quilters have to make a block for each other and it's going to someone else. If that's the case, Andrea, the answer is, yeah, you can make a block and give it as long as you're not given the pattern. Correct, Nancy?
Correct. Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Pam says, yes, the alphabets were very helpful in this block. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I've got several that I use. I love the pins with the alphabet, on them.
I don't have those. I have the ones with the numbers on there. So I don't have the ones with alphabet.
Yeah, these are from Magic Pens. So they have all the alphabet and they have the numbers. And then they also have, I don't know if you can see them, but they have the pins with the arrows on them. Is that got a glare?
Do they come in that case?
Yeah. You can get this at your very friendly Serendipitous.
I know. Set me one aside. I've never seen those.
I love them. Now, I will tell you, so the numbers go 1 through 12, and then you've got the arrows. On the opposite side, you have A through N. Now, if you're like me and you do some Lori Holt patterns, you're going to need way more than through N. I'm just saying. But like, there's enough of each letter, like, because if patterns go into like AA, or, when you put a unit together, you start it with an A and a B, and then they'll call it an AB unit. I just put an A and a B, pin in it. I love these. But you were talking earlier, the thrifty way for sure. My scrap fabric, I will get one of my friction pins, and I will even write on that scrap fabric and then put it like whatever the size is. Let's say the size is 2.5 by 1.5, and it's supposed to be labeled A, and I'm supposed to have 32 of them. I will write all of that on that scrap piece of fabric, lay it on top of that stack of, pre-cut that I've just done. And let's say I was cutting and there was supposed to be 32 and I only had 30. I'll put 30 on there, need 2. And then, so I know when I'm coming back, especially because we get interrupted, right? I'm coming back and I can easily look. Well, then once I get 32, I can just tap my iron to that number, take the 30 out and put a 32. So that's a thrifty way of doing
things. That's a good tip. That's a good tip. I like that one. I like that one.
Andrea said that's correct. She said she would not share the pattern. It was just the block. She goes, it's
thank you
for a Christmas quilt. 24 of us are swapping Christmas blocks. I love it.
Ooh.
Yeah, definitely.
That would be fun.
For sure. Okay, Nancy, are we ready to rock and roll? And if so, when you start moving your camera, I'm going to make mine a solo camera, and I'll show them this folded corner clipper real quick while you're moving.
Okay. All right. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready. You ready, girl?
Take me off.
There you go. Okay, guys. So I'm sorry this is not the best way to show this, but we was talking last week about the folded corner clipper, and I wrote my name on it, so your ruler will not say Diz. But anyway, this is the regular size. There is the XL, and it goes up. This one goes to 5.5. Absolutely love it. The main things to see here is you see how there's a straight line here, and then it goes up, and then it'll have it in 1.5 every ½ inch. But also, if you're working on quarters, you've got those dotted lines to emphasize those quarters. So, for instance, in this tree pattern block that we're doing, there's tons of stitch and flip. And if you guys have watched any other videos, you know I am not a fan of stitch and flip. So that is why I was so excited when Diane turned me on to this particular tool. So for instance, if I was needing to have this as a stitch and flip like Nancy's doing right now, and I know it will be hard for me to do exact, but I would line that up. We're going to say perfect. We know it's not lined up perfect right now, but these are cut 2.5 inches in width. This one also is 2.5 inch width. I don't remember what this is. I want to say this might be 3.5 or 4 inches. But the number that you're looking at is the width, and I can see I don't have that exactly straight. But if I'm wanting to cut and have this flip this way, I would look for that measurement 2.5. I would line it up right there, and then I would come down. Oops, there we go. I would line it up with that 2.5. And remember, I was saying before, pay attention to that portion. That is going to line up with the corner. And let me turn it towards me so I can line it up appropriately and then show you. Okay. There you go. So notice that there on the edge, I've got that 90-degree angle perfect in there. And then all I have to do is cut right here. Now, what I like to do once I cut, I slide my ruler down a little bit, and then I clip it while it's still under this. So I know they're perfectly lined up, and then I will cut, give me a big stack, and then I will chain piece. So one of the reasons I love this, you guys know I don't have a lot of time and I'm always looking for quick, fast, in a hurry, but I also want precision stitching. This way I'm not having to draw those diagonal lines on the back of my fabric. And I also, my precision rate is much more elevated with this than the traditional stitch and flip method. Now, don't get me wrong, the stitch and flip method is amazing. Some of you people have it down to a science, i.e. Nancy. It doesn't.
And Scott.
Yeah, probably Scott. I haven't seen him do it, but I've seen his quilt, so I know he's got it down. But anyway, if you do not have this tool, it is amazing. I use it for my binding. I use it for everything. Okay, Nancy, if you're ready, I'm going to shut up.
Okay.
Okay, and hold on one second before I flip. We do have a couple of comments here. Good morning from Miss Jean Flanagan. For you guys that don't know, that's Scott's mama. We love having her in the building. And Pam said, I did use the folded corner tool. I have used it a lot. So familiar with it. Way to go, Pam. I'm a fan for sure. Now, Nancy, when I take you to full screen, will you be able to see comments or only for me to tell you? I can't remember.
I can't see any of it because I only one tablet's working today. So, and I can't see the screen.
Perfect. No problem. Just want to make sure. Scott Flannan is saying stitch and flip is the best. We will ignore Scott.
I'm with Scott, but I do use the technique with the ruler. So
yeah, you
with
and I talked about that.
Yeah, I do use it. Sometimes, honestly, I forget that I have that ruler, but I actually don't need to use that ruler. I'm just saying I use another tool for it.
Gotcha. We all got our favorite tools. We've all got our favorite tools. Now, Nancy, you are on full screen. Everyone can see your cutting area with all your beautiful pieces. Take it away. I'll be here in the background if anybody's got questions.
Okay, so I'm going to touch areas and please let me know if you cannot see this. Okay, so you can see these units up here that I'm touching. Okay, and so that means you can see. What about this down here?
Yeah, we can see everything, even your rotary cutter. We can see all the way to your 4.5-inch ruler. You're perfect.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so we are going to start on page 16 of the pattern. So if you've already got everything cut, it's fine. And I know most of you guys are just watching and taking notes. So the beauty of, here's our block, this block of the tree is having it so we have these areas in between that are not fully like covered with the green space. So it just it just changes. So I don't know what word to use, my brain. So we have this one right here that they kind of go past. So if I put a ruler down like this, of course that clip is going there. You can see that this one this one right here is coming out farther. So just make sure as you're making these that the middle one is coming out farther than the top, and the bottom dark green one is also coming out further. So this is where we use the stitch and flip method. So what we're going to do is we're going to begin with our E and our Q. So I know exactly the method that Lisa's talking about, and that ruler. I have that ruler in the other room. And I tend to forget about it. And I don't mean to, I just forget that I have it. So you're going to draw your diagonal line, but because our piece is longer, which piece is that? Our background piece. Our background piece is longer than our light green. If it helps you to draw the line across so that you can draw a 45-degree diagonal line, then by all means do so. If you don't need that line, you can just take and kind of lift this piece up and go, oh, the corner's right here, and then draw your line from corner to corner. So these are directional. So I'm going to lay these beside each other. Can you see the red lines? The lines that I have drawn?
Yeah, faintly.
Faintly? Okay, so I'm going to go and draw them again. Try to make them darker. This is when a nice wider tip would work. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, and we can see that better now, yes.
Okay. So what I do is I lay them on top of the piece so that we're forming, the angles are going in the opposite direction, and that they come to the center at the top, and they're coming down here at the corner. So now it's up to you. If you want to pin this in place, you can. If that makes you feel better, go for it. I do not pin these, nor do I clip these. These are too easy to do. So instead of beginning sewing here or here, I am going to turn it and sew from here to here. But when this piece goes in there, I will also, it'll be covering up that piece. And so then I'll sew that way to that way. Does that make sense? That way, we talked about this before. The needle can't push the corner down into because sometimes it'll eat these up. You just got to watch your needle plate and where it's landing and where you put your needle at. Because sometimes I've actually had the needle take and flip this piece over,
Yes.
which does not make me happy when that happens.
Absolutely.
So another thing that I do, let me grab it. And Scott asked me one time, do you always change your feet? Let's see if you can see this if I put, so can you see that I have an open toe foot there?
Yes, ma'am.
I find it easier to sew stitch and flip with an open toe foot because it has that little center marking on it. I can see the line better. Where if I was sewing with my 1/4 inch foot, I've got all this blocking it. And so I prefer, my eyes want the open toe foot. And I also use the open toe foot, excuse me, for other things. So I find that it's a very helpful little tool. All right.
Because what Nancy's saying there, for those of you that may be a beginner quilter, on this, because she's got the line, she's literally stitching on the line, versus if you're using like the folded corner clipper, then you're doing your 1/4 inch seam.
Yes. Yeah. And you're absolutely right.
Yeah. And I'm with you, Nancy. If I'm sewing something that I really need to see, I love that open toe foot.
Yeah. Okay. So now before we trim a 1/4 inch away from the stitched line, just take and flip it back and make sure that like all of this, I'm still reaching around my camera stand here. All this lines up, and then it's going to lay flat. So I'm going to go ahead and trim it, and you're going to trim a 1/4 inch away. I need to have this camera mounted to the ceiling so it's not in my way.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we have a question for you, Nancy. Mary says, does the top come to an exact point, or is there a 1/4 inch above to sew into the next seam? It's
for the tip
point.
Yeah, here, I'll pull this back out. Can we see that?
Yes. But I
Okay.
think she's
So,
referring to on the stitch and flip.
oh, when they cross over, because I'm showing you right here.
Yes.
So the next piece will cross over and you get your 1/4 inch above.
Correct. Yes.
Okay. Does that make sense? All right, I'm going to press this so I
Does
can do
that
the next
answer
one.
you, Mary? She's saying yes on the stitch and flip.
Okay.
She goes,
Now,
yes, thank you, Nancy.
you're welcome. Now these are too little to keep, so I'm going to discard them properly. I'll give them to a friend who loves scrap quilts, like teeny tiny little pieces. All right, so the next one, we're going to go right sides together, just like we did before. And let me grab this right here. So I'm going to pull this back. Okay, so whoops, there's the one we just sewed and cut and pressed, so stitch and flip. And now this one covers this one. So here's where your 1/4 inch is, right here. So it should be crossing over. And now we're going to stitch that.
That's a good point about it crossing over.
All right, I'm going to trim it and press it. And don't forget to check first before you trim it.
Yes, I've so made the mistake of cutting and then pressing it open, and it's like, oh man.
All right, let me press it. And then we're going to move on to the next one so that you can see the difference. Okay, so now this one's done. And you can see I have a 1/4 inch right there. Now, I'm going to tell you, Scott, because he's here, he does not trim the full piece. He leaves the foundation piece, which was the green, the light green. He leaves that there and trims away only the actual stitch and flip fabric piece.
See, I would think with the background being light, that would give a shadow through.
It helps you keep the foundation, but Scott, if you want to chime in on this one, because this background piece extends way far past it, would you trim it or would you leave your foundation piece there if he's still there? All right, so I'm going to put this one up here and I'm going to move on to now this one's going to be a little different. There's still stitch and flip. So what I do is I lay them where they're going to be at so that I know I've got everything right. Now, the diagonal has to go from here to here and then here to here. Is everybody with me on that one?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to line them up right sides together and I lift this piece up so I can find the corner. Now I'm going to turn this so I can get to this one. I'm trying desperately not to hit the camera stand. Okay, so now this one, the corner's right there. And then I'll draw the diagonal. But if I was really brave right now on camera, I would choose Lisa's method. And I would cut it and then go for it and sew with a 1/4 inch foot, if that makes sense. Yeah. I've been known to do that, but just not on camera.
No, on camera, you're already handicapped because of the camera in your way and everything else. Yeah. So you got to give yourself all the grace.
Yes, exactly. All right, I am going to pin these. Notice there's a gap between those, and you see the medium green in between them, and it's supposed to be that way. Okay, so there's this one. Now that's the medium green. Now we're going to do the darker green so that you can see how they keep spreading apart and how our background pieces are getting shorter because the greens are getting longer. Does that make sense?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right, so I'm going to lay these here, line these up correctly. There we go. All right, same procedure. I've got the corner right here. Of course, I have to turn this one. There's the corner right there. And then I just draw that line. and place a pin in it. That's kind of hard to say. A pin in it.
Yeah.
And I'll have you know that Mr. Bruce Kitty is in his window bed right now. And he's watching
in the sun.
Yes. Well, no, the sun doesn't come over there, but that's where a lot of the little critters run across the yard, like chipmunks and squirrels and birds. And so sometimes I'll hear him chattering over there. And it's kind of funny because, you know, he's going like, "Meow, meow, 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 meow," at some little critter that's over there. And somebody just walked through my backyard. So
I hope it's someone you know and not a peeping Tom.
We ain't gonna see much if it's a peeping Tom. They're actually, I think we're talking about getting a tree removed out of the backyard because it's well dead. So now we're gonna do the same thing. We are going to do the stitch and flip method. I'm gonna do both of these really quick because we need to pull this block together. So if there's any questions, go ahead and ask, and I'm here to help and answer, and Lisa can let me know.
Well, at the moment, you must be such an amazing instructor because no one has questions. So there's that.
Wow.
I know.
Well,
seriously.
Can they share pictures of their blocks that they've already made so we can see colors, the fabric colors that people have chosen?
They do need to post those. I did see one or two. I was going to bring them so we could share them on camera, and I got sidetracked. So next video, we will do that because I know for sure at least one person is using batiks. And I've seen their center star, which I think you've seen it. I think you commented on it. It was Bonnie's. It looked so good. It really did.
And I think Pam is in my Facebook group, the Sew Anyways with Nancy McNally. And I think she has shown one of her blocks. I think so.
I think you're correct. Now, while Nancy's sewing that up, and there's no questions, just a quick reminder that we will be back here next Monday, which will be August the 4th. I can't believe we're going into August.
Oh my God.
I know, right? August the 4th at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will be doing block 4. Nancy, I can't even believe it.
I know. But you know what's so great is our Christmas quilt will be done. As in, we'll have it done so early. And it wasn't, honestly, I personally think it's not a difficult pattern. But you know,
we know you think that. We have our friend from Lewis and Irene, Miss Susan Morgan, has popped in, and she says, "Hey,
Susan."
Yeah, absolutely.
All right, I'm ironing these, and they're just about ready to put together. Don't forget, I know I'm not in camera right now. Sorry.
Nope, you're fine.
Don't forget to make your the trunk of the tree. Also, that's very easy piecing because that's right here. All right, so here we have them. So you can see how you have more of the greens showing as we work through, and all of these 3 should be the same size. If I can pick it up, there we go. Remove this, and there we have our tree. So the next step, which is very easy, is to join these 4 together to make the center. Now, when you're following through on the pattern, you'll make sure you've got your blue here and your gold here. Okay, my husband is with those people. All right. Sorry, I'm watching 3 people walk through the backyard now. Okay, and then on the red squares, the ones that have the red center square, make sure your skinny rectangle is on the outside, because if you flip it and you have the wider rectangle that's sewn to the red, the circle won't form as well. It might look more like a oval.
It's so funny when you said that. I turned around, Nancy, to look at my block like, okay, did I do that?
Oh, goodness. All right. So the other thing is, honestly, I have this saying, It's just fabric. It's not nerve endings. If a seam gets flipped wrong or, something doesn't match spot on perfect, it's okay. It is okay. Just breathe. If you feel the need to fix it, then fix it. We're not judging here. We are enjoying, and we're going to have a beautiful quilt when we're done. How's that?
That's perfect. Mary, put that back, please. Mary wants you to point that out and say that one more time.
Say what?
About
the red
blocks, the narrow, yes.
Okay, so see, it has this narrow rectangle right here. And this is the wider one. And that, if you find your pattern, if it's nearby, let me see what page that's on. It's on page 15. Right in the middle at step 5 of the pattern. It shows the way that these are supposed to be sewn. So you have your 2 skinny pieces, and then you have your top, which is the really narrow one, and then the bottom one is wider than the top piece. And I believe I might have, let's see if I can get this one right here. Maybe this is easier to see. Is that easier to see?
Yeah, we could see the block good, but that's good too. You've got good lighting.
Yeah, I do have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 4 lights on me, which are really hot. And then I have natural sunlight coming in to help. So, okay. Now, another thing.
The circle part. So what she was saying a while ago, Mary, was if you flipped that, it would make your circle wonky.
Yes, it would fall like you would have like almost a flat area coming through here instead of the circle forming around the tree. Because the way I staggered the blocks in the construction or the design, that's how you get the circle around the tree. So make sure that this narrow part, this rectangle, is always on the outside of the block. How's that?
Yes. And she says, thank you.
You're very welcome. Okay. I'm going to sew these together, and we're going to get started really quick. I actually feel like I don't need to sew this block, but this is block number 8. So if everybody can, you know what? I'm not going to sew the block because we need to go through the pattern. We need to go through the pattern so everybody can get organized. So we're going to work with the J squares. Let me move all this over. I'm getting everything out of the way. And we'll have to pretend that the 8th block is completed. So I think it's pretty self-explanatory about how to join these. So this is the top row. This is the bottom row. And then these, notice how the blue and blue are diagonal from each other. Same thing with the gold, and the reds will be up and down from each other. So on this one, remember I said that this narrow strip needs to be on the outside. So we're going to place this, and I hope that is not, oh my gosh, they're going to cut that tree down right now.
Be prepared, everybody, for a chainsaw. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
It is loud. I heard the sound of like some type of engine or, a chainsaw motor or whatever it is. And I'm like,
so you're good.
Okay, good. I'm thinking they're really not coming to the house, are they? Yes, they are, apparently. Okay, so you're always going to have red, gold, blue, red, gold, blue, red, gold, blue, red, gold, blue. So lay your block out, and the tree fits right in the middle. And then you're going to piece it just like you do a 9-patch. This will be row 1, this is row 2, and this is row 3. I think that's pretty simple. So
she says, no, it is.
Now, another thing that I do show when you're piecing your block rows together is if you have no seams to match up across, if you're lucky enough not to have seams, then you line up your outer edges and your center. But if you have seams to match, align those seams first, pin or clip them in place, and then align the outer portion of the block. Correct. That way, everything lines up and your eye is not drawn to something that's off center. So always, if you can match up seams, if that's in the block, always match your seams up first. and then do the outer portion. All right,
And
I'm going to move
Nancy,
this.
wait a minute, before you move it. Okay,
Yeah.
so the center row,
Yes,
bring your
ma'am.
hand down to the center row. Yes.
Yes.
In the pattern, in that section, there was not pressing directions. So can you let everybody know which way you pressed when you created that little unit? It's on page 17 for those that are following at home. You can see row 1, Nancy has pressing instructions up there that you're pressing those units
these right here?
head. Yeah, those there wasn't
These right here?
directions. Yes.
Okay, I'll put the tree in here because I don't have the tree assembled, but you can picture it, in your mind's eye, as people would say. Okay, so you have to press these seams for the tree going uphill.
Yes.
That makes your flying geese, these aren't really flying geese. Let's just say your tree lay flatter.
They mimic a flying geese a little.
Yeah, it's kind of maybe distorted. Yeah, anyway. Okay. So if these seams are going up, these seams right here, the gold and the blue, I lay them out, need to go down. So these go down, and actually I think I pressed this one up, so I'll fix that one. And then this one's going to go up and this one's going to go up because they're an opposite. So you'll separate your piles.
Are they? Oh, okay. So you want them to separate, would that be 8 and 8? Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
8 and 8. And then say the pressing instructions one more time if you don't care.
Okay. So the ones on the left-hand side, since these seams are going uphill, this is going to go down. Remember, they're going up, so this one should go down. And I actually this one's pressed down on mine, but I need to press this one again. And then this one over here, the top one goes down, and the bottom one also goes down.
Okay.
Okay. So I'll repress mine later because I don't have the block together. So, okay. So now you want to get something. You want to make a note so that you have something to write on, because you're going to need to take notes. I'm getting everything out of the way so I have some room. All right, let me get to that page. That's a pretty big tree they're taking down in the backyard. I think they're taking 2 down.
In your sewing room, and they're taking 1 down in the yard. I'm just saying.
Yep. All right, so we're going to be on pages 18 and 19.
Karen, I just posted a link for the pattern you asked about, so it should be in the comments for you. Go ahead, Nancy. Sorry.
That's okay. I took the opportunity to have a drink of coffee. All right, I got my morning coffee here. I should have an iced coffee. It's kind of warm. Okay. So here, when you look at the pattern, where's the first page of the pattern? Sorry, I should have that already out. I thought I did, but I covered it up. Okay. We're going to start with that. Can you see that this is here and don't focus on these?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So now we're going to take our top 2 trees. So here's our top row right here. Whoops, let me move that now. Okay, so now your top 2 trees, you're going to put green and green in your bottom left corners. It's so important that you follow this diagram. Excuse me. And right here, because we're going to join these 2 together. This is all stitch and flip. So if you need to trim your blocks before you add the stitch and flip.
Oh, Lord.
Yep. So here's why you do that. So let's say a block is like, I don't know, 1/4 inch off because you messed up a seam allowance or something. So when you go and you didn't trim your block to size before, what happens, you go and add your stitch and flip and then you trim your block, your stitch and flip will be off. It will
Correct.
look off and your eye will get drawn right to that section. Okay.
Yes.
So decide the 2 blocks that are going on the top, label them top row. You will have a left and a right. So give me a thumbs up or tell me when everybody's with me.
Megan Shine says, makes sense. Thanks.
Yay.
So good.
Okay. Okay. So then we're going to go to the left side. And I did it this way because this is the way we construct the blocks. I mean, the quilt. So here's the left side. So now these 2 blocks are on top of each other. So the green right here, you're going to do 2 greens, one on these corners. There's going to be a green down on this corner and a green on this corner. And then your blues are out here on the outside. The blues are always going to be on the outside, on the outer portion of the, when we pull it all together. Is everybody with me on that?
Yes.
Okay. Now, the other thing is, let's look at the pattern pages and look how I have the arrows for the seam allowances working. So right here and right here. The one on the bottom of the left side, the seam allowances point is going away from the light green. And the one that's on top, it's going towards the light green. You can nest those seams if you do that. And it makes it easier to sew. Same with the blue ones right here. Follow those arrows and it will nest so nicely. So you're going to make sure all your blocks are the correct size. Then you're going to add your stitch and flips. As you organize it, please do like your top row first and set them aside, label them top row. Then do your left side, label it left side. And these are directional, as you can see, because the trees are going up. Then on page 19, we have our right side. Again, look at the trees, they're directional. Same thing with these stitch and flip. Notice these are on the outside because they're going to go on the right-hand side of the quilt. And then these are towards the inside. Here's your corner here. It's green. And the corner here is green. Now, since these are not joining to another stitch and flip, what am I trying to say? Yeah, you can press them towards the green. So here's the bottom row. So we have, again, where we have to flip our seams or press our seam allowances in opposite directions where the 2 join. And again, this quilt is directional. I do have the trees all going in the same, they're all going up. So if you rotate the quilt to hang on your wall, it's gonna look sideways. So just watch, okay? Oh my gosh, they took the tree down.
There you go.
There you go. Okay, so that is very important. So this is, like I said, this is the bottom row. You have your left and your right. You're going to trim your blocks to the right size. Double check everything so that you have nice, even sides all the way around the block. So when you add your stitch and flip corners to the blocks, they will nest when you join them.
Perfectly.
All right.
Nancy, real quick question. Back on page 18.
18. Okay,
18
right here.
On left side, the tree at the bottom, the last green, I'm pretty sure they're going to press towards the green there, but
yeah, the arrow's not there.
Okay,
yeah,
guys.
Thank you for seeing that. The arrow's not there.
Okay, I thought you kind of answered it on the next one. You said if it's not adjoining anything, automatically press, to the green or whatever, but
yes,
for those that are on, on feedback or whatever. But okay, perfect. Thanks, Nancy.
You're welcome. All right. Does anybody have any questions? Everybody made their notes?
We made our notes and we have some newcomers in. Carol says hi to everyone. And KD says good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. It is a good morning. Getting a tree chopped down.
Good morning.
So, okay. Our next week, since everybody already has the pattern, they can go ahead and pull the entire quilt together. But the next session is going to be all about your borders. And as a long arm quilter, when you hand your quilt over to a long arm quilter, we see anything and everything that might be wrong on the quilt. I'm just letting you know, because we get up close and personal with that quilt, and we have to make sure that it is square, as in trimmed correctly and lays flat when we say square. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure that our quilt top is square before we add our borders. So even though you already have the pattern, please don't join the borders yet. Let's wait for that lesson, if you don't mind. Yeah. And then, okay, because that way, because honestly, long arm quilters, they talk about it all the time. Customer didn't attach their border right. Customer didn't attach their border right. I'm dealing with a wavy border. Now the quilt won't fit right. So,
what are you trying to say, Nancy?
I know. Even I've been guilty of not doing that right. And I didn't understand it until I became a long arm quilter. So this was early on in my years of quilting. So I now totally understand it. And so part of doing a quilt this size is to understand the importance of trimming your blocks to the right size. Here's the size it's supposed to be. Now make sure it is that size. Right. So when a pattern designer gives you that information, you know, if it says like the block is supposed to be 3.5 by 3.5, something like that, just go double check it real quick, just to make sure that it's going to be nice when it joins to the next unit. So
absolutely.
All right.
Nancy, we have 8 minutes left. Is there anything else you need to show on your cut table view, or do you want me to flip camera so you can flip the camera back to your beautiful face?
Oh, that was nice. I think we're good. I mean, I've got 1.
I know she does.
2. If I can pick them up. 3. 4. And by the way, I started sewing these yesterday at 2:00 in the afternoon. There's another one. So that's 5, 6, and 7.
On a late night sewing for sure.
I was, because I was waiting for my husband to get home from Charleston, South Carolina, and it was a 16-hour drive. It was a big day. So, but I'm glad I had that time to sew. Just saying. You know what? The one thing I'd like to talk about is using steam in your iron. I have a new iron. I've had it for about 3 months, and I'm not naming brands. I love it. And I am now love to press my blocks with steam. I love it.
Interesting. Flip your camera real quick and then tell us about that.
Okay. So take me off camera then.
I'm going to move you. I got you, girl. So with that being said, real quick, while she's flipping her camera, Mary says, this is the week I may get behind. Mary, I don't know if that's because you feel like it is a lot of piecing, or if you got other things going on. But there is no behind here, honestly.
Right.
Just sew at your leisure, guys. Just because we're doing these videos once a week, we're doing them once a week because that's what worked with our schedule. So yeah, this one is probably the most intense in regards to how many pieces you got to sew versus the other weeks, but you're never behind. That's the beauty of replay. I think Andrea said it earlier. She says, I will be watching the replay as I sew, so I can pause and sew. And absolutely, that's why we're doing these videos, because everybody works at a different pace, for sure. There's Nancy's beautiful face.
I'm back.
She is back. So, so I'm a non-steamer. Talk to me about this, Nancy.
I too was a non-steamer. And I don't know, I mean, years ago there was, I don't want to say a controversy, but a lot of quilters chimed in on that subject. Should you steam your blocks? Should you not steam your blocks? Or whatever. I was at a retreat I think it's been the last 4 retreats that we have a group of like 20 quilting friends, and we all go on retreat together. So 2 ladies bring these massive irons that have a canister underneath that hold the water for the steam. And I was petrified of those things because they were so big. They were like, you touch it wrong and the thing would go poof and steam would just, just come out. I'm like, oh my gosh. But I learned how to operate it at those retreats. And I'm like, my blocks really lay flatter and they stay so nice. They really stay nice. And then Scott, he's so guilty of this, and Jean can attest to this. You're welcome, Glenda. Thank you for joining us. Scott was like on me. You need to get this particular iron. And I couldn't afford that iron. So I got a different iron. But he says, same thing as I do, that when you press your blocks with steam, they lay flatter. And then I use the clappers, the quilter's clappers, it draws the moisture out of the fabric from the steam, and they still lay flat and they just stay there. Especially if you live in a humid area.
Do you use a wool pressing mat or just a regular pressing area when you're using the steam?
I have both. I have a wool mat right here, but my big ironing board does not have wool. Gotcha. So when I like press borders, that kind of thing, that's over at my big ironing board. Same. But right here, I do blocks.
Yeah.
And then I press them again. So, yeah.
Now, I know you're talking about a big iron that they had, but the one that's beside you, I think, is the one I have, which I absolutely love. Is that the Tula one?
Yeah. Isn't it cute?
Yeah, I think you got that for me. I can't remember. But anyway,
no.
I have used steam in this. It's the first time I've ever put steam in one of my irons because that particular little iron is crazy. But I did put some steam in it because I was working on, it might have been a Lori Holt thing. There was 1,000,001, and my presser pin works fabulous, especially because like the wool with the clapper and stuff. But I felt like it just needed a little extra at the end after all that manipulating. So I did. And that little iron is amazing.
I love this little iron. This is awesome.
Okay, so
this is Diane, yes.
She's saying we need to know about the name of the brand of the big, scary Mama Jamma iron that you were talking about at retreat.
Oh, she wants the big Mama Jamma iron.
She wants to know the name.
The one that at retreat was the Rowenta, and the one that I own is Reliable.
Reliable. Okay, so it's funny you say Reliable. Because at Motivation, in May, I went to Motivation, which was a whole week at Moda. And it's even though it was all work and business, it was like retreat. So we had sewing classes. So Reliable was the brand that populated all the irons in all the classrooms.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They did. That's the first I've used them. And I will say, I was like, when that thing started percolating, I was like, what the heck? But they were really good irons. Because I actually have a couple on order for the shop. So it's funny you say that brand. It's really good.
I had never seen that brand of iron. So I love it. I love it. And there's another one out there that Scott uses, and that's the Laura Star. It's an amazing iron too. And you can't burn yourself with that iron. So if I could have afforded that one, I would have bought that one too.
Yeah.
Or not also, but I would have bought that one. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I had never heard of Reliable either until at Moda that week. And and there was a bunch of it was all shop owners, and a bunch of us was the same thing. Like we've never even heard of this brand, but they were really nice iron once you figured out how to use them.
Yes, yes. All right, everybody. Don't forget, we'll see you here next week, same
Yes.
time, and we're going to pull it together. Now, I will not have I don't have enough space to have the whole quilt in
Okay,
front
we're
of
not
you to
pulling
talk
it
about.
together next week. Next
Yeah, we
week is
are.
block 4.
That's the border.
And then we've got week 5 that we're pulling it together on August the 11th.
Yeah, but we have to make the border, and I was going to show because I don't have enough room to show the whole border. Do you know what
Got
I mean?
you.
So
Mhm.
unless I do it over at my cutting table. So
Got you.
I like what
Angela
she
said,
said.
be blessed, less stressed, and pet some fabric today. I totally agree.
Yes.
Mary says, thank you. Good lesson today. And Gloria says, thank you. And Nancy, definitely thank you. It's so fun to be here with you and hang out and do a
Aw,
little
it's
sewing
been
and
fun to be with you and see everybody.
yeah, some
It's like
sewing.
we're a little circle of friends.
It is our little circle of friends, and we're inviting everyone into our sew rooms. We don't get to do that when we're at retreats or at the quilt shop.
Right.
But
Mhm.
here it's intimate. We're in our own space, so it's really
Yes,
fun. Guys,
absolutely.
thank you so much. Don't forget you can catch us on the replay from now and forever on both Nancy's YouTube channel, SewEndipitous YouTube channel, on our Facebook channels. It'll only be there for 30 days, but don't freak out. Pop over to YouTube.
To
I did
YouTube.
drop a
Yeah.
link for the patterns for those that asked. I did drop a link for the kits. And Nancy, I think that's all of the questions and comments. If you're good, I'm good. See you
Yeah.
guys next week, right?
All right. Bye,
9 a.m.
everyone.
Eastern Standard Time, guys. We'll be here.
Yes.